Welcome to the 2014 release of Wonderware System Platform and InTouch. Many of the new features in the 2014 release support a concept known as situational awareness. You might be wondering what that is. Well, it's very similar to another concept you might have heard of called Performance HMI. That concept is described in many books, including the Performance HMI Handbook, and it's a different method of developing your HMI screen such that they're very operator-centric, focused on the operator's effectiveness in times of abnormal events. The goal of situational awareness or high-performance HMI graphics is to reduce the time for an operator to both identify that an abnormal situation is occurring and to respond to it. The less time it takes for an operator to understand what's happening and to know where to look and what his next steps are, the more time he has to take the corrective action to prevent something abnormal to becoming an unsafe or a critical situation. What happens in a lot of the current HMI designs is that the operator is overloaded with a lot of data but not necessarily useful information. The goal of high-performance HMI and situational awareness is to bring the right information in a meaningful manner to the operator and direct him to that information at the right time. If a motor's on, but it's supposed to be on, we don't need to call attention to that motor by highlighting it a different color. But if that motor's an alarm, then that seems to be more of the proper time to use a color to identify that this part of the process needs attention from the operator. In this type of HMI development, you can't think of your HMI as a TV screen that's meant for entertainment. If you think of one of the most boring things that comes on your TV screen, it's the emergency response system. It's a loud blaring noise followed by simple instructions of what you should do. So it gets your attention and then gives you information that you need. That's what we need to consider when we're doing high-performance HMI. Our HMI screen is there to get our attention in times of crisis or critical situations when you need to take action, and then to direct you towards what that action should be. For customers who are interested in following this type of HMI design, the 2014 release will provide you with several tools. One of the major tools is the Situational Awareness Library. Here's a look at some of the dashboard symbols that are available in our Situational Awareness Library. They're pretty boring looking. They're mostly just grayscale, monochrome. There's actually a couple different colors you can use as your base color based on element styles in the 2014 release. But the idea is that when everything's gray and boring, things are running okay, because you want your operator to be able to stand far back from your screen, across the room even, because he may not be dedicated to sitting at your HMI screen 24 hours. In fact, there may be some screens out there that are totally unmanned for most of the time. We need to allow the operator to, at a glance, know whether things are in good condition or whether he needs to take action. So to do that, we use a minimalistic approach of only showing you things that give you information, as well as using color very strategically. In this screen, you'll notice some color appeared, indicating there's a couple of places that have alarms and need my attention. I can see that color change from across the room. To use one of the new Situational Awareness Library graphics, it's very similar to using orchestra symbol library graphics, which are also still available in the 2014 release. We simply go to the button Embed Graphic, and now in addition to your orchestra symbol library, which you may be familiar with from earlier releases, you now have a Situational Awareness Library. There's a number of different elements, from equipment, there's dashboard tools, there's meters. The idea behind this is to give you a selection of graphics that all follow the same standard, that are already industry tested, and they'll work very easily out of the box, especially if you're using objects in System Platform. When you pick an object, just as before with orchestra symbols, you just select it, hit OK, and embed it into your canvas. You can resize it. You'll notice the quality status symbol is still there. There are some new ways to interact with this symbol called symbol wizards. Check out another one of our videos to learn about that. Along with the symbol library in 2014, there are also a new selection of graphic tools and animations available. Situational Awareness Library graphics also take advantage of some of the new features, and you'll notice that as you customize them, the custom properties will be auto-filled to work with minimal setup, especially when you're using System Platform objects. Let's look at one of these elements in action. Here's a temperature at 60 degrees. With the left orchestra symbol, we can see that it's between 50 and 75 degrees, and based on the label, we can see it's probably a temperature. On the right, we get a little more information from our situational awareness graphic. Even without the label showing that it's a temperature indicator, we could see that it's temperature from the shape of the meter. It has that temperature thermometer bulb shape. As you customize your meters in this library, you'll notice that there's different shapes for pressure, flow, temperature, etc. You even have the option to turn off the label as well as the engineering units and the number. A number, again, is data. It's not really useful information. Knowing that something's 60 degrees, especially as an inexperienced operator, doesn't let me know whether I need to do anything about it. However, if I know that 60 degrees is inside or outside of my optimal range or approaching one of my alarm limits, 60 degrees doesn't matter as much as knowing those other pieces of information. In our situational awareness meter, we've got a gray shaded range showing me my optimal range, in addition to 2 ticks showing me a high and low alarm limit. There's also a number of other things you can use these for. But at a glance, that's how these symbols convey more information and less overload of data. One concept that's championed in high-performance HMI is the use of level displays, so that instead of every display representing a new P&ID drawing, that's generally too detailed for an operator to get much information at a high level. We start building level displays so that at the top level, level 1, you've got an overview of possibly an entire area or an entire plant, so the operator can look over and see, is my entire area in good shape or not. We use color again strategically to identify when something is not okay. That directs the operator to drill down to more detailed levels. One reason this is important is if you're interested in exploring high-performance HMI or situational awareness. You don't have to do it all at once. You could choose to implement a few parts at a time, one of which might be adding an overview display. You can also use new features like alarm borders and other animations that you can see in some of our other videos to help bring the operator's attention where it's needed, when it's needed. So that's an overview of the Situational Awareness Library. Go check it out in the 2014 release of AVEVA System Platform.